Ready? Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharunamardam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Who's going to lead the two sloks? You want to lead it, Nishi?
Sure. Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahano Bhunaktu.
Sahano Bhunaktu.
Sahaviryam Karvavahe.
Sahaviryam Karvavahe.
Tejasvina Nadi Tamastu.
Tejasvina Vadhi Tamastu.
Ma Vidishavahe.
Ma Vidishavahe.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good job. Next.
Asato Ma Satgamaya.
Asato Ma Satgamaya.
Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya.
Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya.
Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada.
Okay. Om Purnamada.
Om Purnamada.
Purnamidam.
Purnamidam.
Purnat Purnamudachyate.
Purnama Udachyate.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnameva Vashishyate.
Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It's not there.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay, good deal. Thank you, Nishi. That was good. And so, just a quick revision from last time. What did we do last time?
We revised the other class.
Other.
And then we talked about the 10. We just read it. Oh yeah, we just read it.
We just read it. We didn't define. Okay. So, do you remember the 4 parts of chapter 1?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that. What was the first part? Let's talk not in a group, one at a time. So what was the first part of the chapter 1? Anybody remember? So there were 4 parts, right? The first part was
I remember
preparation for war. Okay, let's do it. Neil, can you tell what was the second part?
The second part was the war.
Mm-mm. What was the second part? Victory. Say it loud. What was that? Sign of victory. Sign of victory of Pandus, right? That's what we talked to about it. So we talk about those 2. Now there were 3rd and 4th. So what was the 3rd one?
Introduction of the hero.
Introduction of the heroes, right? That was our Arjun and Krishna, right? And then what was the 4th part? Arjun, right? So we already discussed 2 parts of it, right? We discussed about the first part, that was preparation of war. We saw how both the teams were doing, right? Then we talk about signs of victory, which we talk about couple things, but then one was Kapi Dwaj that I did not discuss that time, right? Kapi Dwaj, I said the Arjun charioteer had the flag of Hanuman, right? We did not tell the story, but it was there. So we talk about a little bit about sign of victory. We need to cover the other 2 parts now, right? So let's talk about that sign of victory one more thing. Yes?
We also learned what this means.
Yes, good job. So before we start, let me say, who remember that saying that I said last time when we do preparation of war? What was the saying? Okay, I will ask Asiya because she remind us.
So the question was, it said, more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war.
Awesome.
Meaning-
Wait. Let's talk about what meaning to somebody else. So, more you sweat in peace,
the less
Less you lead in war, right? So okay, so let's say Saisha, you want to go ahead and say what does it mean?
If you practice more before it actually happens, then it's going to be easier when it actually happens.
Good job, great. Okay, so we talk about that. We also talk about two things that was a takeaway from last chapter, last class. One was, you remember we talk about what does human contribution to this ecosystem?
Absolutely none.
Not material, right? Nothing materially human race give to this ecosystem. So there is another purpose to the human existence, right? So what we need to think about that purpose all the time, right? That's what we need to come at the end. Like after a month, we need to ask ourselves, did we find our purpose? Because that's what Gita is going to guide us through, right? So we need to think about always, why did we get this human life? Why not want somebody that contribute to ecosystem, right? We did not get a life that contributes materialistically to an ecosystem. So there is something else to do with this life, right? Not just there, otherwise it's useless, right? So what is the use of human life? That's what we need to keep thinking. So that was the key takeaways from last class. Okay, so we'll start with again where we left. So we left at where we talk about sign of victory, which we already know that it was looking like who's gonna win? Pandu's gonna win, right? We already saw the signs in couple slokas already, verses before. Now, one of the verse says the Arjun chariot was flourished with the Kapi Dwaj. Kapi means bandar, which is Hanuman, representation of Hanuman. Dwaj means flag. So they describe the chariot really well, right? In this first chapter, they talk about it was with 5 white horses, and it was magnificent. It looked so pretty. So they talk about that, and they on top of it in Mahabharata, in this Gita, they talk about the Kapi Dwaj, which is a symbol of a very powerful Hanuman being inside of the Pandavas, right? Arjun. So it's with Arjun, right? On his chariot there is Hanuman. And where did it came from? Just a quick background on that. So you remember, I don't know whoever had read Mahabharata before. So when they were in Agyatwas means they were in 13 years of exile, right? So they were away. Everybody on last year, they have to go, they should not be recognized, right? So Bhim went to Guptkashi, and while he was walking through Guptkashi, he found a monkey sitting on the road, and he tried to pass him, but he couldn't. And he said, move your tail, because I am coming. I'm Bhim, who is very powerful, who is coming. With an arrogance, he talked to that monkey, move your tail. And he said, I'm too old. If you want to pass by me, move my tail by yourself, right? So then Bhim, who was so powerful, so big, he tried to move Hanuman's tail, but he couldn't, right? He tried so hard, but he couldn't move that old.
How was Hanuman still alive?
Yeah, he was so old, but he was still alive at
That
that
makes no
time.
sense.
It does.
Because like Ramayana was like 5,000
It's
years
basically
before
like
him.
Bhishma. He was so old, but
Yeah.
he never
Mine
died
was-
until he wanted to.
Yeah, again, these stories has a meaning to
It's
it.
probably a different
It-
story.
Yeah, but so what happens is, so he couldn't move it. Then Bhim realized that this is nothing, like not just a monkey. He's something bigger and powerful than what I'm thinking. And he realized that it was Hanuman, and he prayed to him. He said, sorry about my arrogance, and I am really sorry, but hey, I want to let you know that there is a big war going to happen, because between us and Duryodhan. So would you please, as you made victory when you were with Ram, can you come on our side and help us, and give us give us victory, that we can have victory too. So the Hanuman said, okay, I cannot fight, I'm so old, but I will be present on your side. So he was present as the flag of Arjun's chariot. So that was again it is the sign of victory that the Pandava is going to win, right? So those were the signs of victory. Okay, now let's move on to the next part of this chapter, which is what? Introduction of our heroes, right? So Arjun here, this 21st slok, he says it's half like divided. So Arjun says that, hey, you know what, I am ready to fight. You know, everybody is blowing in this loud noise. We are ready to fight, but you know, Krishna, take me to middle of both the armies. I want to see who are the people who are helping Duryodhan. This murk Duryodhan means this stupid Duryodhan. Who are these people who are helping, who are on his side of Duryodhan? Let me go and check them out. So take my chariot in middle of the war, middle of the two armies, right? Now here it says something about it, right? First thing is, you know, before the war, everybody knew who was in whose side. It was nothing new that Arjun will figure out right now at the end time of the war, where war is about to start. They cannot figure it out, oh, somebody else came in the war. No, it was everybody was pre-decided that who's going to be on which side. So what he said doesn't sound right. Like, you know, there is nothing new he's going to say. Why is he asking us to take like chariot in the middle of the... So, because the Bhagwan was chariot driver, he understood why Arjun is asking this, right? So I will tell you a little bit detail later on. But what happened is, as soon as he said, take me in the middle, let me see who are there, which they already have strategy done before the war, who's going to fight with which person, who's going to fight with that. So everything was done, but still now Arjun at the end moment is asking, hey, take me, I want to see them, right? So what Krishna did? What Krishna did is, Shri Krishna said, okay, let me take you to in the middle of the war, middle of the battlefield, where you can see both side of the thing. Now, one part of Arjun is right. So, you know, if you have given a project in your school, right, and you have given that you have to finish this project you have to make a boat with paper, pencil, crayon. You will get all these things. So first step to start that project, what would you do? What will be your first step?
Make the boat.
Yeah.
Make a plan.
Make a plan, right? So you will make a plan, right? Which Arjun has already done. Now what are you going to see after the plan? What are you going to check out? See?
Gather all the items.
Gather all the items, right? So what is Arjun doing? Arjun doing the basic thing. Like, hey, I'm going for a project of war. Let me check what do I have against me, right? He's going there. So he's doing his basic what as a human will do in going to do a project. Now, introduction of Krishna. Here in chapter 1, Krishna doesn't speak a word at all. But still he's introduced in here, right? Because Krishna said, okay, let me take you to the, in the middle of the battlefield. Now, introduction of, he is a god. He is a king, right? Arjun doesn't know he's a god yet. But he knows he's my best friend, right? And he knows that he is my, he is my best friend as well as he is my chariot driver. That's the introduction to him. He's a big king. He has a big kingdom. Krishna himself has a kingdom. Now look at the chariot services, right? So chariot duty is to take the passenger to wherever he wants to go, right? He doesn't have to use his brain. The driver doesn't use his brain. The driver has given the instruction from the passenger to go wherever they want to go and fight, right? Now with the loud noise and everything in the battlefield, how would you communicate with the charioteer?
Scream at them.
Scream at them? You can't. Because it's so loud, right? The war is so loud. How would you communicate? How would they used to communicate? Yes, Sana?
Like tap your, I don't know, like.
Now I I have a bow and everything. My hands are not free because I'm gonna shoot. I'm shooting because I'm bored. But
You
I
don't.
see so how do you?
He knows where to
on
go.
chariot, you can do Morse code.
He knows where to go.
Mm-mm.
The driver has to use
Okay,
his brain.
Sasha, how would you communicate?
Wait, never mind. I was going to say a shunk, but if his hands are full, how are you going to
Yeah. So your hands are full. You know there is a Duryodhan standing right there. You're ready, but you want your chariot to move a little left, so your aim can be right.
You can't.
How would you?
He has to know. The
Yeah,
driver
he-
just has to know.
He
You
just
can't
goes,
communicate.
So I will tell you how they would communicate with chariot. There was no cell phone. There was no text messaging. Nothing, right? So how would you communicate with the chariot? You put your foot on his shoulder and tab him. If you
And which way
tab
you wanna
left,
go?
he will go left. If you tab right, you will go right. Now think about it. It's Krishna Bhagavan sitting as the chariot driver. Now think about the humility of Krishna Bhagavan. He's ready to take somebody's feet on his shoulder. Right? Think about Bhagavan. So Bhagavan here is a servant of his bhakta. Bhakta means devotee, right? Arjun was his devotee. What is doing to serve his devotee? He's taking his feet on his shoulders. So Arjun will knock his shoulder with his feet and he will drive. So think about the greatness of Bhagavan, like how humble he has to be to become a chariot driver and take somebody's feet on his shoulder or on his head. If they had to go middle, he will pad on his neck, right? Think about that, how humble somebody has to be, right? Think about it like, if in our thing, would Trump drive a car?
I can probably compare Trump to a driver.
No, yeah,
Would Trump
no,
drive
even
the
a
car?
human being, think about it. If a human being will do like this chauffeuring for somebody else who are lower than them
For no car.
for no cost, right? So this is the introduction of Bhagavan, in our hero in Bhagavad Gita.
Would Trump drive the limousine for the chef?
Oh, if Trump would drive the limousine for what?
The driver.
Modi. Right?
Or for like the driver or the chef.
Yeah, like anybody, like a CEO guy. Let's say, forget about Trump. Let's say Jeff Bezos. Would he drive a car for his employee sitting in the back?
No.
Never, right? Never. Here, the Bhagavan himself is driving a car or a chariot for his bhakt. So this is the introduction of Krishna Bhagavan here, saying that how humble the Krishna Bhagavan is. Right? You got the information here? So what is it God here?
He's humble.
What is the God
He's
here?
humble.
Servant of
Servant
your,
of your
a devotee. A bhakt, yeah. Servant of a bhakt. That's how he's introduced in this chapter. Right? So we got introduction of both. How is Arjun behaving? Arjun is behaving like a normal human being. Right?
'Cause he
And
is-
Bhagwan is behaving like a servant of a normal human being who is a bhakt. We got the introduction for both of them?
Yes.
Right?
sir.
Isn't it surprising?
Yep.
Isn't it eye-opening how it goes? Right? So now here Arjun comes in the middle of the battlefield. Now Krishna Bhagavan is very smart. What he did here, he said, take me to the middle of the battlefield. What he does, he take him in the front of Bhishma and Drona. And go and stand the Rath there, right there. Why would he do that? Because he could have bring Arjun in front of Duryodhana and say, look, this is the Kaurav. Right? You need to fight with Duryodhana. But he did not.
But
He
he
took
already-
him to
Has
Bhishma
Arjun-
and Drona.
Maybe
Hi.
because if he's in the war and then he goes against them, he might not I don't know, fight with them.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he takes him in front of his teacher and his
Grandfather.
his grandfather kind of like his father figure basically.
Yeah.
Maybe Krishna knew that Arjun wanted blessings, so he took Arjun in front of Bhishma and Drona.
Yeah, good idea. Good talk. But what happened is Arjun already took blessing of those two early on, before we start Mahabharata, before we start the Gita. In Mahabharata, it already showed. So good. That is a good take on that. Okay, Sunny, you wanted to say something or Zach?
No, I wanted to say something. It was the same thing. So about what?
That's it.
About something. Why?
So why did he took the chariot in front of? It says in there in Gita Shlok, if you say it, Krishna Bhagavan took the chariot in front of Dhritarashtra and not Dhritarashtra, sorry, in front of Drona and Bhishma and said, "Look, these are Kauravas." Yeah.
He wanted Arjun to see the reality that his teacher and his grandfather or father figures
On the
his
opposite side.
opposite side. Like he has to fight them.
So when I said that, hey, nobody goes in the middle of the war and nobody changed their mind yet, right? That who is gonna go where. Arjun know who is there. Still he is asking, take me in the middle, I want to see who they are. Arjun already know, but Bhagwan already realized that he is started having a confusion. So what is the biggest challenge Arjun could face? Is killing his teacher
mentors.
and his father. So what Krishna said, hey, in the middle of the war, you're gonna say, oh, now I don't want to fight. It's better you clear it off before we start the fight, right? So Krishna Bhagavan already thought about it that he's gonna be most get emotional when he's gonna be in front of those two people,
Those
right?
are
So
the
he
two
took
most-
him straight to the challenge, right? He took him straight to the challenge. This is your challenge. Look at it and tell me what you want to say.
He couldn't care less about Duryodhana.
Right? If he would have stand in front of Duryodhana, Arjun would be like, let me kill him right now, right? But what he did, he took him to the most challenging situation. This would be the most challenging situation in your life. And that's what God does it with us too. Remember that. He put us, whenever you go through a challenge, it means God is trying to prepare you
For
for something bigger.
Like the quote.
Right? So if anything that's happened, when you feel like, oh my God, this is so much challenges I'm facing, let me run away from here. It's not about running away. What God says is, look, these are the challenges you're going to face. Get ready for it. Right? So this is the second point that God gave. So he brought him in front of, so he was really, really smart in doing that. Now, as soon as he saw both of them, what happened to Arjun?
He cried.
He started feeling so emotional, right? He's like, oh my God, am I gonna have to fight with these two and I have to kill them? This is not happening. I'm not gonna do that, right? Now look at the same thing. Like we talked about chariot last to last class too, right? What is he doing? He's using his senses. See, I am seeing, well, who I'm seeing right now in front of me? Bhishma. And who? And Drona. These are my teachers. So he's using his senses, his feeling and mind. Like mind are what? Feeling and thoughts, right? He's using his mind and feeling and senses to make the decision for not to fight. Right? Now, when these situations happen, what do we suggest what the person should do?
Good. Over. Pleasant.
Yeah, look at your intellect, right?
And
Look at your, and who is the intellect here?
the Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna Bhagavan is the driver. So what did he do? He said,
Oh.
you got that point? He said, hey intellect, tell me what should I do here? Because now my senses are not working, because my senses are falling into the path of I don't want to fight. My mind is saying, I don't want to fight because I'm hurt. My feelings are getting hurt. My thoughts are coming saying, I'm not going to fight. So what did he go? He dropped everything and he said, hey intellect, hey Krishna, tell me what should I do? Do you connect all the dots here?
It's a metaphor.
Right?
I never connected.
Right? So that's the connection that you have to do with it. So now what happened? Let's continue with the slokas first and then we will come back on this one.
Because last time we didn't get to do.
Yeah. So no, not slok, but let's finish till 30. Where do we have to start with? 31, right? Yeah. 31. So before 31, what happens is now I'm gonna tell you a little. Now it's Arjun is in the confusion, right? State right now. So what happens is I want to tell you a quick story. There was a hermit who used to live long time ago, and he was known for telling the truth. He was the Mr. Truthful, right? So he always used to tell truth no matter whatever situation is. So in the community, he got a big reputation saying this guy always tell the truth. So when somebody has to figure out the truth, they used to go to him and he used to tell the truth, right? Now one day he was sitting in his cottage and there was a robber who was going behind a merchant to steal his money and to kill him. So he was going behind, the merchant came through his cottage and went far away in the forest and hide himself there. So the robber who was going against the merchant kept running and came to the cottage of hermit. He pays his respect and he said, "Hey hermit, tell me where the merchant is. Did you see the merchant?" So now, what would you do if you were hermit?
I'd be like, he went that way.
Because you are, think about it, there are two options. One, you never say lie. You are known for saying the truth, right? You always say the truth.
Well, yeah.
You have to be like you dished them.
Now you have to either say the truth, which gonna what? Kill the merchant,
Kill the merchant.
right?
That's okay.
Or you
Tell
can
the
tell
lie.
the lie
Which will
and
ruin
save the
your
merchant.
reputation.
So what are you gonna do?
Reputation.
What? Let not do a group conversation. So let's have Neil say what?
You can ruin your reputation if you lie.
Yeah. So what would you do? Tell me.
You would say nothing. You will say, "I can't tell where he is, but I'm also."
But
not
then you are lying.
I would pretend to be in meditation.
Okay.
Kill him.
Just not.
You will kill the robber or kill the merchant? You will kill the robber?
You
Okay.
can't kill a robber.
But you don't have the you don't have the tools to kill the robber. Okay,
Plus,
then.
you
It
go
wouldn't be
to.
a lie if we didn't say anything.
Yeah, it would be lie because he saw.
But then you'd
No,
murder.
silence is
no,
the
you
word.
didn't say anything. You don't say anything, so you're not telling the truth.
Yeah,
or
because
lying.
he didn't
You're saying
ask a
nothing.
question. So
He did.
He did.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to answer.
Then
murder.
yeah.
Reha or Alia, you have any comments on this? What would you do if you are the hermit?
I
I would
Lie.
would tell.
You would run away?
I would just walk away.
You would, okay. So the same situation Arjun is in right now. Should he fight and should he not fight? Right? So here is the thing. Now, guys, no talking extra.
Good
So-
versus bad.
Now, what would you do? Like, right? It's a big question. If I tell the truth, the merchant will die. If I tell I'm not saved, people will say, "Oh, this guy doesn't say truth anymore," right? So my reputation will go. The same kind of confusion happens in our life too. What Arjun is at. Now I will tell you, there is in school there is a group of people that are really popular. Like there are girls that are populars, right? Let me give you an example. So what happens is, if you are in the, there is something that the popular girls that you are with and you want to be with, and they did something wrong, right? Or popular boys, guys. Okay, not girls.
Everyone
Right?
hates them anyway.
So if they do something wrong, but you want to be with them because they are popular, right? So now, but they did something wrong. How would you do it? It's an example. So think about what would you do? Would you like to stay with them because they are popular and you're popular too? Because they are popular and you're popular.
But it'll
You
lead
want to
you
stay
do
with
more
them,
wrong.
but they did something wrong, which you want to tell the teacher that they did something wrong. What would you do at that
Would you snitch or
Wait,
not?
how wrong is
Push
this?
them off a cliff.
point? Really wrong. Wrong. So what would you
Like
do?
murder.
Wrong with this
No
happened.
one likes a tattletale.
I know, but here is the wrong thing.
Like if you murder someone, if it's like that extent, of course I would.
They
say.
robbed the
But
bank.
if it's like
They would be smart.
They hurt somebody's,
Exactly.
they actually hurt somebody other person's feelings so bad. What would you do?
That made them stay home.
I'll probably confront them myself. Like just push them
Yes,
off.
see it.
I forgive them, but if they do it again, then I'll tell the teacher.
But then they will not be your friends anymore. Remember that.
Does it really?
And they are popular.
They were not my friends. I was a double agent. I was never there.
Okay, so these situations come in our life too, right? It's not just it came in Arjun's life. I just wanted to give you some examples of what to do. Now I'm going to tell you how things happen in Mahabharata. So listen to this incident. Guys, listen to this incident. So when Karna and Arjun got into the fight in Mahabharata, Karna was, what do you say,
Arjun's brother.
Stuck in the wheel.
this one,
I mean, yeah.
he was the chief of the army for 2
general.
days, right? General of the army. So
Bhishma.
Bhishma died, so he became, right? So he was for 2 days, he was. Now they were fighting, and what happened is, Karn's will came out, right? And he was not having any weapons, right?
Because his teacher said that sometime when we.
Yeah, whenever, because he lied to him.
Yeah.
So what happens is, now if you don't have any weapon, it was a
You're not
dharma
allowed to
yudh,
kill.
you are not allowed, the other person should not fight you, right? Should not use the weapon against
But
you
then they
because
had
you don't have a
actual-
weapon, right? At that time, so when he fall down on the floor on the out of the chariot, Arjun drop his weapons and say, hey, he doesn't have a weapon. I cannot use a weapon. Let him get the weapon and then I will fight, right? But Krishna, what did he say? So Krishna said, no, take up your weapon and fight with him, right? So Karna saw that Arjun is picking up his weapon. So Karna said, what? Why are you doing this? This is against the law. Don't do this. You are hurting a person without the weapon and this is against the law. But Krishna Bhagavan says, where was the law when you asked Draupadi to come in the court? Right? Where was the law when you asked Yudhishthir to keep playing that game of dice when he was not supposed to do? So, where was the law when you were helping Duryodhan against, they built a palace, you remember, and they burned the palace?
They gave them
Vatsara.
a hut to.
Yeah. Where were the law when you were burning off the palace? Right? When you don't follow the law, how are you expecting us to follow the law here? Right? So, here is the question. In this Gita, you will find a lot of incidents where Krishna Bhagavan will ask you to break the law or ask Arjun to break the law. Why?
Because they did it first.
They broke it first. So when I'm saying if hermit will lie that merchant is not there, I didn't see the merchant, he's breaking the law. Right? But is
his
it
law.
needed
He's
to break
breaking-
the law at that
He's
time?
breaking his law.
It's like
He's breaking his law, but is it needed to break a law at that point?
Like Yudhishthir, at one point, he has to lie about Ashwatthama, right?
Yeah.
So he's breaking his law.
Right? So if you have to break the law, there should be a reason, a big good reason behind breaking the law, right? So now, all these confusion that Arjun is facing, it comes in our life right and left. You guys have to think over it and see how to do it. The first thing, it shows us that where to go when you are in confusion. Where to go?
To your intellect.
To your intellect first.
To your Krishna.
To your Krishna. And Krishna will be right on the chariot for you to guide you where to go. You just have to give up everything and say, hey Bhagwan, show me the way, what should I do? And he will be there for you. He will be on your chariot and guide your way. That's what it says in there. Right? You got it? Now let's go to the
440.
okay. Let's go to the point where, so in this chapter, Arjun talks about 5 confusions. Why is he having 5 kind of confusion? Why he should not fight, right? The first point is that I don't want to fight because of my compassion towards
Each person.
towards Kaurava. I have compassion. These are my brothers.
And my
Right.
family.
These are my families.
My grandfather.
I don't
my
want to
teacher.
fight. But this compassion is towards the body compassion. So I will tell you why. So my body, Arjun, as a body of Arjun, I don't want to kill the body of Kauravas, and I don't want that to be killed. Kill their bodies. They cannot kill the consciousness in them, right? Nobody can kill the consciousness. So he just having a compassion on the bodily for other team, other people, cousins, right? So it's only bodily compassion, right? So first point is he's having compassion. He's sad that he cannot kill his own brothers, right? The second one is, I will say compassion. The second one, he says, hey, if I win, and he know he will win, right? On a lot of things he keep on saying that I win, right? So I win, what's going to happen to my entertainment? And I'm going to tell you why. So when I win, like, right? So people enjoy. Like I have a Mercedes, which Siddharth uncle has it. So if I have a Mercedes and it stays in the garage,
How am I gonna enjoy it?
how would it be enjoyable for you? Just you are just looking at the Mercedes, and keeping it in the garage. Would it enjoy you more?
No.
Entertain you more?
No.
No. But if you drive and other people see you driving, that makes the enjoyment more enjoyable, right? Yoo-hoo, like you know how good the car is, right? So if I get the palace, and if my brothers are not there, everybody is killed. Now nobody in my family is there. How would I enjoy? How will I get entertainment on showing them, hey, how good I am a king, right? Right?
But you won't even be king if we eat this time.
I know, but he will win, right?
Yeah.
So if he will win, he cannot show off. Like human life goes according to show off. If I have a pretty dress and I don't wear it,
It's the
There's no
point.
point.
then you're getting it, right? I want to show it to Risha, right, Sia? If I wear it, I want to show Risha how pretty my dress is. Risha, you want to show it to Shia, right? That I have a pretty dress. I want to wear it on the party, right? So if I don't wear it, what is the use? So he's saying, even if I get this kingdom, if nobody is there to see what fun it is, I don't want this kingdom. Forget about it, right? So that's the second part is the entertainment. The third part is, if I win and I kill people, I will get sin. Right? I'm killing the people. That's going to give me sin. So I don't want to fight because I'm going to be carrying a sin for my life. Right? So that's the third confusion that he's talking about. Fourth confusion that he's talking about, that if I kill everybody, it's going to destroy my family traditions. Like, you know, there will be no tradition followed going forward, and everybody will blame me because I killed everybody. We cannot follow the family traditions.
But some of the sin is on like his side, so like they won't be good.
So you know, when the family comes together, so you want to bring your mother's brothers, your dad's brothers. So the family comes as the whole family together, right, to do certain things, right? But if the other family is not here, how will you follow the traditions? Yeah? You know, for even Raksha Bandhan, you need a brother to tie the Rakhi. If brother is not there, who's going to tie Rakhi? Right? Or sister is not there, right? So you need family members to celebrate any tradition. But so if I kill everybody, there will be no tradition to follow. Yes.
What does the D stand for?
D for destruction of family tradition.
What's this? See?
C is compassion.
Oh, compassion.
Compassion,
Oh,
entertainment, sin, destruction of family
you know
tradition.
the one girl in the car. She was getting a lot of rockets. 100 different rockets.
It'll take like 2 days to
100.
There was only one girl, right? They had
like
one sister.
99 different rockets.
Imagine having to mourn all the brothers that died.
Yeah. So, and the last one is not in this chapter, it comes in second chapter when he continues his conversation, is indecision. Indecision about what should I do, how should I do it. So indecision comes. So all these 5 are the confusion that Arjun is having. Yes.
What's the I and the D and the
Destruction of family tradition.
K and the S?
S is sin. S-I-N, sin. We say, you know, in Hindi we say paap. I'm going to be in paap if I do these bad things, right? Then that's sin.
And the I is
I is indecision.
indecision.
Yes, right. I, indecision.
What's C?
C is compassion.
What does that mean?
Compassion means my love towards I'm feeling sad if my loved one is hurt.
So I don't want to kill these people.
Yes.
So I know E's entertainment, but like, what does it mean again? Like, you can't
Entertain means show off.
Sure.
If I get my kingdom, who's I'm going to show off to? Because there will be nobody to show off. Everybody will be killed.
Killing.
No, it's doing bad things.
Yeah.
D's destruction, right?
Destruction of the tradition, the family tradition.
That's no decision wrong.
And indecision is just indecision, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
okay.
not guessing. Yes. Yes.
What's C again?
C is compassion. Yeah. What does it?
There.
C stands for compassion. Destruction of family tradition.
But what does I stand for?
What?
Indecision.
Okay. C that is compassion and then E is entertainment. Okay.
You should write it like this. Like that.
Okay. So you got it? Now at this point Arjun is saying, the pain he's showing in the shlok says, my limbs are getting weakened. My mouth is drying.
Seems like you're
Poetry.
overreacting a bit.
My mouth is drying. My hairs are standing on the body. My Gandhi, Gandhi, what was Gandhi for Arjun?
His thing the
His bow.
oh
that
the,
was
the legendary bow.
legendary bow, the bow that Indra gave.
Yeah,
I swear it started 10 minutes ago.
So that is slipping. Arjun never, after he got the Gandhi, guys, one more. After he got the Gandhi, he never left the Gandhi. Why? Because it was such a precious bow.
Actually,
Now
you
what-
just touch like
Yeah, so what he's saying is, my Gandhi is dropping. I'm so nervous that my Gandhi started dropping, which is a big deal for Arjun, who never left the Gandhi away from his body.
he even threatened to kill Yudhishthir one time.
When he took
Because of
yeah,
the Gandhi bow.
because he took the Gandhi bow. Yeah.
Yeah, Yudhishthir took his Gandhi bow.
So he's saying my skin is burning. I cannot hold myself. I'm so bad. And by saying that, he sit on the chariot, drop all his weapons, and sit and say, I am not going to fight.
What's the indecision?
Poor
Krishna
Krishna,
he always has to
always
convince Arjun to keep going.
Indecision's like
Now,
Confusing.
if somebody would be Arjun, like you would be, if you are Krishna, and somebody in the back of your chariot at the end moment, when you have the project ready and to go,
I'd be done.
and your partner says, I'm not going to participate in this project.
Oh my god.
What are you going to say to
You
him?
know my friend did that.
Are you serious?
Are you like, I'm done?
Right?
no, like if you have all the supplies ready and the instructions,
Everything is ready. You are ready.
you're ready to start,
Start.
and you had this perfect idea and everything.
And now the other partner says, I'm not gonna do, what would you say?
Are you crazy?
Give your partner 0.
Right? You will say, you will go to teacher and say, change my partner. I don't want this partner. This is crazy, right? Bhagwan could have done that, and Bhagwan could have said, hey, are you crazy, Arjun? Now you are saying I don't want to fight at this end moment. Are you crazy? I'm not gonna take you here. Get up and fight. This is your dharma, and get up and fight. He could have done whole Gita in one sentence, saying that go fight. But what did he do?
He was patient.
He was patient. He heard everything what Arjun was saying, how he was feeling. So as a friend, what he did, he just sat down.
too.
He could have left, or he could have said, no, go ahead and fight. I'm not going to listen to this crap. Stand up and fight. Pick up your ball. Right?
Your baby.
Right? Get up. Yes.
Wait, so if all the Gita was said before about water, how long did it take to say all of that? Like, he just went in the middle of the road in the afternoon when the was about to start and just started saying all of it.
I am very glad you asked me this question because I wanted to talk about this. So one thing what happened is whenever we read Gita, and this question is being asked many times, like, hey, there are 700 verses in middle of the battlefield. You are talking about these 700 verses 2 and 4 where already the conch shell has been blown off and everybody is ready to fight. How did everybody waited for 2 hours or 3 hours? It takes at least 3 hours to read the entire Gita. If everybody read it fluently. You are sitting there. So I will tell you what, those days, all the wars were done by the rules. Right? So here, to start the yudh, who has to take the first bow in there? You know?
The best one.
Bhishma.
Yeah.
Bhishma has to blow the bow first to start the...
So Bhishma literally waited
Bhishma waited.
for Arjun to finish.
Because Bhishma was seeing that there was a big conversation happening. Bhishma refused to do this in the middle of the
Everyone's
battle.
probably looking at Arjun.
Guys, don't talk. So,
Everyone's probably looking
if you
at
want
Arjun.
to talk to me, buddy. I want to know your views. Don't talk to each other. I want to know your views too. So that's where this thing happened, and nobody questioned because it was Bhishma who was holding the war. He wanted to finish this whole Gita. What is it? He wanted to listen what Arjuna and what Krishna is saying. So
Because
he
right now this whole thing was on right in front of
Bhishma.
Drona and
Bhishma, yeah. Because
Drona and
everything
Bhishma.
happened in front of Bhishma. and
Because
Drona.
like Krishna literally parked up right next to them. and
Next
showed
to them
Arjun.
and showed them. So this is what happened, right? So that's why we say that it takes 2-3 hours, but the war was hold on to 2-3 hours just because
Probably
Bhishma
like
did not want it to start.
5 hours if this is like a natural conversation. And
Yeah.
like, during this, Krishna shows his different forms as God. So Arjun, you have to take time for Arjun because he's like in awe, right?
Yes. Good. Okay, can we recite the remaining shlokas and start again? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go 31. And guys, Rishi, when you finish the one shlok, let's tell the number, like 32, 33, because sometimes they miss the line, so I don't want to go forward.
Wait, is it on 30 like the last one?
31. It's starting from Nimittani.
Yeah.
Nimittani Chapashyami.
We're gonna start with Nimitani Chapachami. Hey guys, help each other to find that. What is the page number?
49.
49 page number.
The last one?
Alia, it's 49. Neha, I don't know your page number. You know your page number?
It's on 51 starting.
Yeah.
Your mom
31 starts here, but then it's not. 31 actually. Yeah.
Okay, ready? Nimitani. You go.
Nimitani cha pashyami.
Nimittani Chapashyami.
Viparitani keshava.
Viparitani Keshava.
Na cha shreyo पश्यामि
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि
हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे
हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे.
Next. Now we're gonna read the whole 10 slokas.
न कंशे विजयं कृष्ण
न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण
न च राज्यं सुखानि च
न च राज्यं सुखानि च
किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द
किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द
किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा
किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा.
Together.
न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा.
Kim Bhogena means how will I entertain myself with all these? All the Rajya and everything that I get it, how will I get entertained if everybody is dead? Okay, next. Yeah, Raja. Which page are we?
51.
We are on 51 on the top, right? Top line?
Yeah.
51.
No, second.
Okay.
Second slow.
Second top line. Second top line. Okay.
येषाम्.
Okay.
येषाम् अर्थे कंसितं नो
येषाम् अर्थे काङ्क्षितां नो
राज्यं भोगसुखानि च
राज्यं भोगसुखानि च
ता इव स्थिता युद्धे
त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे
प्राणं त्यक्त्वा धनानि च
प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च.
Together.
येषाम् अर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगसुखानि च त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च.
Next.
आचार्य पितृ
Pitta.
पितृपुत्र
आचार्य पितर पुत्रास्
तथैव च पितामहः
तथैव च पितामहः
मातुला स्वसुरा पुत्र
मातुला स्वसुरा पुत्र
सेवा सम्पदिनास्तथा
स्याला संवदिनास्तथा.
Together.
आचार्य पितर पुत्रास् तथैव च पितामहः मातुला स्वशुरा पुत्र स्वाया संवदिनस्तथा.
एतन्न हन्तुम् इच्छामि
एतान्न हन्तुम् इच्छामि
नातोऽपि मधुसूदना
नातोऽपि मधुसूदना
अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य
अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य
हेतो किं नु मही कृते
हेतो किं नु मही कृते.
Together.
एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि नातोऽपि मधुसूदना अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतोऽपि न मही कृते.
जनार्दन
तापित्री जनार्दन.
पापम् एव श्रियद् आस्मान्
पापम् एव श्रयेदास्मान्
हात्वेतन्
Advaitan Atatayana
Hey, Nihat.
Nitya
Nihat.
Dartarashtrana Kapriti Syajnardana Papam Evasradasman Advaitan Atatayana. It says here in the shlok before, the start of line 3, it says Pap, like Arjun saying,
The sin
if I
part.
kill them, then
Then he's talking about the
sin,
sin.
Pap means sin.
Okay.
Wait, is the next one 3 lines?
No, it's
No,
2.
just 2. Sing 2 and 2. We're gonna keep doing 2 and 2. Yeah, Beta? 52, right? Towards the end. Okay, go.
Tasmanarhavayam hantum
Tasmanarhavayam hantum
Dhartarashtraन् sabandhavan
Dartarashtran svabandhavan
Svajanam hi kantan hatva
Svajanam hi katam hatva
Sukhinas madhava
Sukhina syama madhava
Together.
Tasmanarhavayam hantum Dartarashtran svabandhavan Svajanam hi katam hatva Sukhina syama madhava
Yadi ati etena pasyam
Yadyapyetena pashyanti Lobopahata chetasa
Kulukasya kritam dosam
Kulakshaya kritam dosham
Mitradrohe chapatakam
Mitradrohe cha patakam
Together.
Yadyapyetena pashyanti Lobopahata chetasa Kulakshaya kritam dosham Mitradohe cha patakam.
Kula means family. So this shlok, it talks about destruction of the family tradition. Okay, next.
Katam najneyam asmabhi
Katam naneyamasmabhi
papad asmani vartitam
Papad asmani vartitum
Kulakshasya kritam dosam
Kulakshaya kritam dosham
Prapayabhir janardana
Prapasyadbir janardana
Together.
Katam naneyamasmabhi Papadasmani vartitum Kulakshaya kritam dosham Prapasyadbir janardana
Kulakshya pranayanti
Kulakshaye pranashyanti
Kula dharma sanatana
Kula dharma sanatana
Dharme naste kulam krishnam
Dharme naste kulam krishnam
Adharmo vibhavyat vita
Adharmo bibhavyatita
Together. Kulashaya pranashyanti Kula dharma
sanatana Dharme naste kulam krishnam Adharmo bibhavyatita.
Okay, it's talking about if we keep following that, the whole family things will get into the sin. The whole family people will get into sin if we keep doing this. Okay, next, the last one.
No.
40? Done? Okay. In this, the lines are different. Okay. So we go do these translation. We did half of it already translation. So next time the chapter will be ending because we're gonna do from 40 to 40. We did? I thought we didn't do 40.
We did.
We did 39.
No, there's like Gita, it's 46. Wait, what's the last slope? How much slopes are there in Bhagavad Gita? 46, right?
Wait, last, what do you mean last?
Yeah, 46.
46, right? In the actual Gita, it's 47 because you guys have like pairs of 3 slopes, so then one slope
Three
comes
lines.
left. Like
3
lines.
lines together.
So
That's
one
why
comes
it
left.
messes up the numbers. But that's okay. So, guys, who is going to speak next week? Who's going to lead? Saisa? Good. Okay. So, here is the thing. So, what did we learn today? Just to summarize it real quickly.
Arjuna came in
Arjuna
devotion.
came confusion because they want to fight kindness things, and those are the things.
Those were the reasons. There's compassion, entertainment, sins, destruction of family, and indecision.
And all these happen with us too. Remember that part. Okay, always related to what happens in your life. Yeah, right? And whenever confusion happens, where to go, guys?
To your Krishna.
To Lord Krishna, to intellect, and ask for the answer. Okay, let's do Vasudeva Sutam then.
Vasudeva Kamsa Charunamardana Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha.
See you guys next week.